tattoo if you wear a sleeve over it. You know what I'm saying?
If I wear a sleeve.
You know what I'm saying?
I
though?
wasn't
It's
listening
like
to you,
it's-
so I
it
don't even
defeats the
know. I'm
purpose.
not even sure what the question that you just asked was.
Maybe gloves, a sweater with a turtleneck would be better.
You know, that's a little.
No one ever expected Adam Levine to comment on Blake Shelton's marriage. For years, he stayed completely silent, protecting the private lives of the people he worked with. But now, a rumor is spreading fast. Adam has finally revealed what he really thinks about Blake and Gwen's collapse. And the alleged verdict is far sharper than anyone expected. Adam understood both of them better than most. He knew Blake's Oklahoma roots, and he knew Gwen's polished LA lifestyle. He watched their worlds collide, rise, and eventually strain in ways the public never saw. And according to insiders, he recognized the signs long before anyone realized the marriage was cracking. The real question is why Adam would speak now. After years of refusing to comment, insiders claim he finally broke his silence and delivered a verdict that cuts through all the speculation. A verdict pointing to one harsh truth: Blake and Gwen were living two separate lives, and only one was willing to compromise. But Adam's alleged confession goes deeper. Behind closed doors, he's rumored to have admitted something personal, something that completely changes how Hollywood views the breakup. Because Adam Levine didn't just watch the collapse happen. According to those close to him, he saw it coming. From the moment Blake Shelton and Adam Levine sat together on The Voice, something clicked. Their connection wasn't scripted. It was quick, raw, and instantly real. One minute they acted like brothers, the next they were rivals, teasing each other on camera while staying loyal behind the scenes. Fans watched the show not just for the singers, but for the Blake and Adam dynamic. Their differences made the duo unforgettable. Adam was the tattooed LA rocker who loved the studio and city chaos. Blake was the country giant who needed dirt roads and quiet nights. That contrast became the energy of the show, and viewers loved how their worlds clashed without hurting the friendship. But beneath the jokes, Adam noticed more than he ever said. The same clash that entertained viewers is the clash insiders say ruined Blake's marriage. Adam understood the tension between city life and country life better than anyone. He lived it daily, jumping between Hollywood and the grounded world Blake lived for. And as their friendship deepened, Adam sensed something changing behind Blake's humor, something he couldn't ignore. And it was only the beginning. Adam was there when Blake and Gwen first connected, long before the public knew anything was happening. He watched Blake transform from a heartbroken country star into the polished half of Hollywood's newest power couple. At first, Adam was happy for him. Blake looked lighter, excited, almost reborn. But slowly, Adam noticed the parts of Blake that began to dim. According to whispers from Adam's circle, Blake wasn't the same guy once the spotlight moved off camera. He grew quieter, less comfortable, more conflicted. Every time he flew back to LA, his energy seemed different, like he was stepping into a world that wasn't built for him. Adam saw the cracks before anyone else did, because he recognized the signs in himself. He knew what it felt like to live in the wrong environment and pretend it didn't affect you. What scared Adam most, insiders say, was how Blake tried to hide it. The jokes got louder, the smiles tighter, and the effort to fit into Gwen's world became more exhausting. Adam watched his friend drift between two identities, two lifestyles, two expectations. And deep down, he sensed exactly where this was heading. Because Blake wasn't just adjusting to a new life, he was losing pieces of himself. And Adam knew the fallout was only a matter of time. Adam knew better than anyone that Gwen and Blake came from completely different worlds. Gwen lived in routine, glam, and controlled order, where every detail mattered, from studio schedules to wardrobe fittings. Blake needed tractors instead of traffic, open fields instead of LA walls. One lived in glitter, the other in dust. And Adam understood both perfectly. Insiders say he noticed the tension early. Gwen enjoyed visiting the ranch, but she didn't live that life. Wide fields or farm chores weren't part of her rhythm. Meanwhile, Blake felt himself fading each time he returned to LA, like he was forcing his identity into a place it didn't belong. Adam saw the imbalance wearing them down long before the public sensed anything. It wasn't about blame, it was incompatibility. Two lifestyles pulling in opposite directions. Adam recognized the battle, one he had fought himself trying to balance Hollywood with real life. But Blake didn't have two worlds. He had one, and leaving it drained him. Adam stayed silent, but he already knew the truth. These worlds were never meant to merge, only collide. For years, Adam Levine refused to comment on Blake's personal life. That silence wasn't casual, it was deliberate. Adam is famously private, the type who shuts down any conversation that even hints at gossip. To Hollywood, it looked respectful. To insiders, it looked cautious. Because when someone stays silent this long, it usually means they're protecting something bigger. People close to Adam say his silence made everyone more curious. Country stars were speaking, Hollywood voices were weighing in, even longtime colleagues were hinting at the tension. But Adam, the one person who actually lived through all of it, said absolutely nothing. Not a reaction, not a hint, not even a joke. That vacuum only made his eventual verdict, as insiders call it, more explosive. Hollywood whispered. Fans speculated, executives wondered. If Adam ever talked, his words would carry weight, real weight, because he had no reason to lie, no motive to stir drama, and nothing to gain from choosing sides. And that's why, when his alleged verdict finally surfaced, it felt like the ground moved under everyone's feet, because Adam Levine didn't speak often, but when he did, people listened. According to insiders, Adam's long-held view wasn't emotional, it was strategic. His alleged verdict was blunt and unforgiving. Gwen didn't understand the rules of Blake's life. To Adam, Blake wasn't just a husband, he was a package tied to Oklahoma, the ranch, the routine, and the quiet that kept him grounded. You don't marry Blake and expect him to live full-time in LA. You adapt, or you don't. Rumors say Adam believed Gwen never fully committed to that reality. She visited the ranch, posed for photos, and embraced the country image. But she didn't live it. Adam reportedly saw that as the core mistake, the decision that unbalanced everything. To him, the ranch wasn't an accessory. It was Blake's identity, and Adam's alleged verdict didn't stop there. Insiders claim he believed Gwen's attachment to LA pushed Blake into a lifestyle that drained him, creating stress he could never hide. Adam didn't frame it as cruelty, just strategy, and a strategy that didn't fit who Blake truly was. When that verdict began circulating in Hollywood, everything shifted. Because Adam Levine didn't just point out a problem, he exposed the flaw at the heart of the marriage. Behind the scenes, insiders say Adam didn't just judge Gwen, he also blamed himself. For years, the Voice studio sessions and Hollywood commitments kept Blake anchored in LA, a world Adam lived in easily. Those close to him say he now believes that influence came with a cost. Rumors claim Adam felt responsible for pulling Blake between two incompatible lives. Every season, every photo shoot, every late-night taping kept Blake far from the place that kept him grounded, the ranch. Adam didn't force him, but he made the LA lifestyle feel normal and manageable. That, insiders say, is where the guilt began. People close to Adam say he watched Blake lose the relaxed spark he always had in Oklahoma. City pressure and long filming hours drained him. Adam didn't see it at first, but looking back, the pattern was obvious. Blake wasn't living in two worlds, he was being torn apart by them. And that realization, insiders say, is the part Adam never wanted to admit. Because some regrets come from the things you never meant to cause. If there was one reaction Gwen Stefani didn't expect, insiders say it was Adam Levine's. Kelly Clarkson's emotional comments were understandable. Reba McEntire's opinions were predictable. But Adam was Hollywood. He was supposed to be neutral, or silent. So when rumors spread that Adam had blamed her strategy, Gwen reportedly felt blindsided. Those close to her say Adam was the one person who understood her world. The photo shoots, the studio pressure, the routines. If he didn't take her side, it meant something deeper than gossip. It meant people who knew Blake believed she made the wrong moves. Insiders say that rumor hit Gwen harder than any online backlash. Adam wasn't a random critic. He was the bridge between country and Hollywood, and his alleged verdict instantly shifted the narrative. Within days, sympathy swung toward Blake. Gwen suddenly looked isolated, unsupported, and misunderstood by both worlds she tried to balance. And in Hollywood, perception is everything. The moment Adam's alleged verdict leaked, the story changed. Once Adam's alleged verdict began circulating, everything shifted. Kelly Clarkson had already exposed the emotional tension. Reba pointed to Blake losing touch with his roots. But Adam's verdict tied every loose thread together. Not emotional, not moral, but strategic. Insiders say Adam's view instantly reframed the breakup. Blake wasn't the stubborn country star refusing change. He was the man juggling two identities that didn't fit him. Gwen wasn't the villain, but she underestimated how essential Blake's world was to his sanity. The public finally saw the divide that had been pulling the marriage apart. The shift was fast. Blake went from guilty husband to man who tried, from confused celebrity to someone living in the wrong environment. Adam's alleged verdict cemented that picture. Blake wasn't the problem. He was the one trying to bridge an impossible gap. And once that narrative formed, there was no undoing it. Because once Hollywood chooses a victim, the battle is already decided. As Adam's alleged verdict spread, old Gwen interviews resurfaced. Clips where she talked about regret, insecurity, and painful songwriting suddenly went viral. Fans connected her words to the tension Adam hinted at. Moments she once shrugged off now sounded like hidden confessions. She described songs that made her almost throw up because of what they reminded her of. In other interviews, she admitted feeling overwhelmed and unsure. These weren't new comments, but with Adam's verdict in mind, they hit differently. Fans saw a woman trying to hold together a life that didn't match her identity. Insiders say this became the final puzzle piece. Gwen wasn't cold or careless, she was overwhelmed, caught between her LA world and a lifestyle she wanted to embrace, but struggled to live fully. Her own words revealed emotional cracks long before the breakup became public. It wasn't just a failed marriage, it was two identities colliding, and Gwen felt that pressure long before it all fell apart. In the end, three voices shaped the public's understanding of what really happened. Kelly Clarkson revealed the emotional struggle, Reba McEntire pointed to the moral drift, but Adam Levine, the one person who lived beside Blake through every high and low, delivered the verdict that tied everything together. A verdict that wasn't cruel, but clear. Blake Shelton needed the world that made him whole, and Gwen simply wasn't built to live in it. Adam's alleged confession didn't just explain the breakup, it exposed the truth behind it. Blake wasn't running away from Gwen, he was running back to himself. And Gwen wasn't the villain, she was someone caught between who she was and who she loved. Two good people, separated by two lifestyles that could never become one. Hollywood calls it a collapse. Fans call it a tragedy. But Adam's verdict showed it for what it truly was, a fairy tale that could never survive reality. Because sometimes love doesn't fail, it just chooses the world it belongs to.